everybody. Welcome to Pro World Live. I'm Danielle from Pro World.
Kate, go ahead the camera.
And we have some special guests with us today. I cannot wait to introduce you to them. Our brand new product line that we brought in, Silky Socks. The owner is here with us, Dannesh, and he's going to show you everything you need to know about Silky Socks and get you just as excited as we are. If you haven't tried Silky Socks yet, they are everything their name says. They're silky, they're smooth, they're soft, they're perfect for sublimation. So without any further ado, let me pass it over to Dannesh, and he's going to show you everything you need to know about pressing them.
Woo. What's up, guys? Danielle, thank you for the awesome introduction. Excited to be here. I'm Dannesh Kasamali, founder of Silky Socks, aka they call me Mr. Silky in my Facebook group sometimes, so you can refer to me as that, or Danny for short if that's easier. But hey, new distribution partner with Pro World, shout out to them. This is exciting. Thank you for having us. I'm so excited.
So glad you guys can join us. This is going to be amazing. As much as we love these products, I'm sure everybody else will fall in love too.
Definitely. So we're based out here in California. We've been in business since 2013, and in 2020 we got our own nice big, about 9,500 square foot warehouse. Woo! So shout out to us. But now excited for to have that product inside of Pro World out in the New Jersey, Philly area. So that's super exciting. Coast to coast now. And it's been a fun journey growing this company. So I'm looking forward to telling you guys today a little bit background about how we started, and then making some amazing socks with this one has a cotton foot and a polyester top. And I'll even make you guys some boxers today live on this press right behind me. And we're ready to rock and roll. Danielle, what do you think?
I think that all sounds great. Now, Dannesh, are the athletic socks your most popular product that you sell?
Yes. So the athletic socks, this one we call the black foot, black interior. So the entire collection ranges of about 14 to 15 colors, and it is our #1 bestseller if you add up like all the colors combined. The top colors are probably going to be the black and white. So this one has a black interior, as you can see, excellent for dark designs. So if you were making like a black background with some logos on it, this will be the best sock you can use. Along with, we also have a dress sock that has a black inner, so that one's super nice too. This is our dress sock, this is the white dress sock, which you can sub the whole thing. So we actually offer 3 kinds of socks. It goes athletic, which is the thickest foot. It has a cotton bottom, and it's the thickest sock we carry, so hence we call it the athletic for extra comfort. Then we have our streetwear sock, which is like a medium thickness. The cool thing about this one is you can sublimate the entire thing. And then our thinnest sock, most thin on all over, is called the dress sock. We made this one for wearing with your dress shoes, like your church shoes, going to a wedding in it, something like that. And what's really cool about this sock is it's got a cotton interior and a polyester exterior. So you got your comfortability on the inside and your sublimation printability on the outside. So that's really the unique thing about us, Danielle, is every product was engineered specifically for dye sublimation, with sublimation printability and wearability in mind. And then it was like, okay, what could we do that's different and that also has a market demand and need? And the first product was, let's make a great sock that is fun to wear, comfortable to wear, athletes can wear it, and it's amazing to print. And it was actually, this was the first product, but actually without the black interior. We called it the black foot white top. And that was the first ever product Silky Socks developed. And then from there, we added this sock, the streetwear socks. And then from there, we added the knee-high socks. And then eventually just kind of kept building out.
All the way to now that you have sports bras and boxers.
Yeah, so now it's all the way up till now. So if I can go back a little further, I'll give the people a little background as well.
Sure.
Okay, so my background from 2009 to 2013, I was an apparel broker, meaning screen printing shirts, getting t-shirt orders from schools, businesses, restaurants, construction companies. But I never purchased the screen printing equipment. I would go to the trade shows, learn all about it, then I would sell screen printed t-shirts to these groups, and I would broker the jobs to silk screeners. So I did that daily for about 4 or 5 years before Silky Socks even launched, right? Then at the same time, I was traveling overseas to China, visiting factories that were making cool stuff like socks, underwear, shirts, and just getting their contact info, working with them. And then I had a client that asked me to make socks, and amongst other things, and I started using some of these factories to source hoodies, socks, basketball shorts, all kinds of merch. So I was doing two things. I was working with factories overseas as well as screen print factories here. And meanwhile, just going to every Impressions Expo at the time called ISS show that I could, soaking in knowledge. I was learning about sublimation, learning about DTG, learning about embroidery, learning more about silk screening and HTV. And I was like, what technology should I actually buy and start doing something in-house, right? And it wasn't going to be screen printing because I was like, that's kind of very messy. I don't want that to be in my shoulders. Like, I used to outsource it, right? One phrase my uncle once said was, why buy the cow if you can milk the cow? So I kept outsourcing that job. But around the same time, the custom socks were selling for like $40 a pair back in 2012, 13. The Nike Elite socks you'd buy with a little print on them, and some of those would go for 30, 40 bucks a pair. So I said, what if we made our own blank and we offered it for the sublimation print community? We printed our own cool designs on it, and we just created our own version of a sublimatable sock. And after doing some of that research and testing and trying it out, the print just came out so amazing on the sock that I was like, wow, we got to build a whole company with this. Like, this isn't a small thing. This is so vibrant. We got to build a whole company. So keeping the name, the word silk was part of my first company. It was called Silk Screen Apparel. So I was like, for a sock company, what if we kept the word silk and then made a sock company out of it? So it was like Silky Socks. I was like, that has a nice ring to it. And boom, just purchased the domain name. I was shocked to know it was even available, told a few people about it, and they were like, that's a cool name, you should go for it and stuff. And I was like, let's do it. So Silky Socks was born. Again, these were the first 3 products right here. Super, black and white basics. And for many years, it was just these 3 products in blanks. Then eventually had to start adding some more stuff for the sublimation community. That's when we added arm sleeves and headbands. Then fast forward to 2020, COVID hit, and I was like, dang, we got to do even more. Like, we can't just sit still here. I remember this conversation that I saw online where people were like, nah, just wait till this whole thing's over and then go back to, hustling on your screen print business or your t-shirt business or whatever. And I was like, no, that's not right. You got to hustle now. Like, you can't just sit back and wait. So, man, we were one of the first companies to engineer a blank face mask. And then what that did is it told me, man, you can do more. So then I was like, okay, blank underwear. Let's see if we can figure that out. Boom. The blank underwear came next. Then it was like blank beanies. Can I get a beanie, Ahmed? Ahmed's here with me, helping me out. That's it, Ahmed, cameraman today. So then I was like, boom, beanies, let's do it. Like, there was nothing that we said, no, we can't do. We just have to methodically take our time with it, put in our quality, our knowledge, our research into it, work with our factory to build it out the way we want it, test it, make sure it feels good and prints good, like you can see, and make sure it wears good. And then now Silky Socks today, as you mentioned, sports bras, dog tanks, the whole works. Our own blank t-shirt. Can I show them that t-shirt as well? Here is a Silky Socks, one of our newest products. It's called the black and white tee. So it's got a black back and a white front, and you can sublimate the entire front panel. And we also have an all white version of this that's fully sublimatable. So now we're pretty much close to a full apparel line of blanks, and we got some more stuff we're hitting, but I cannot happily say, like, I feel like a head to toe coverage of blank apparel for you, the sublimation printer. So
That I love that. From, the very start to now, you can really see how you evolved and how you moved and grew. And you know what, to be honest, I pressed these for the first time yesterday. Sad to say, I know we've had these on inventory, but as much as he was saying, Dannesh was saying how easy it is to press and make these, and they're vibrant and colorful. They absolutely are. I didn't mess up, thankfully. Kate even did two pairs of socks. So we were super pleased with the outcome and how easily they were to print. So, it definitely is worth the time, the effort, and you get a really great product in the end.
that's what it's all about. So shout out to you. I saw the pictures of what you made. They came out awesome. So her first time doing it. I like to have fun with our audience on social media or in our Facebook group and tell them, like, how many socks does it take to become a sock pro? And I say about 5. After 5 pairs, you're going to be a sock making guru or expert. So
perfect.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, let's show them how to make these. How easy it really is.
That's next.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to make the red socks today. So again, this has a cotton bottom and a poly top. So you only need to sublimate this top half. And we also supply and sell jigs, right? So the jigs are recommended because what it does is it stretches the sock during production. So when you put it on your leg, it already has a nice stretch to it, and it looks good when you wear it. Now, if you skip this step, it'll still give you a decent print, but then when you put it on, it'll stretch more. Now, another thing about stretch is, as you can see, this has a red inside here. So we've created these socks to have inner fabric color matching the foot color. So it'll create like a true red sock when we're finished. So let me get to it here. I'm going to load this sock on the jig.
Questions. Okay. Questions.
If you guys have any questions about the story or what I'm doing here, just holler, and I think Kate and Danielle will read some out. So Silky Sharks, if you're out there, give us some of your questions if you have. Here's that first one. And I have so much fun telling the story, Danielle, that I could just sit and do that for the whole 1 hour. It's cool. It's like just sit and talk business,
Hey, I don't mind. I love the story. I love the backstories. I love knowing where a business came from because it shows you how you evolved, and it's amazing.
Yeah, thankfully it's been fun. It's been a lot of hard work, but it's so fun to now have the opportunity to work with businesses like yours and do fun collabs like this. So yeah, let's do this. Okay, so here is the 2 socks loaded, and we're ready to put this on press. So Ahmed, if you want to bring that camera over, we will go ahead and put these on the machine. So I've got my heat press set at 400 degrees and 35 seconds. This is a 16 by 24 press. And the transfer sheet I'm going to be using is this colorful one. I wanted to give you guys a nice colorful design. It's got some Legos all over it. It's got some red, so that'll match the foot color amongst other colors. Let's do this. So I'm just going to let this guy bleed off, hang over my foot here. and I want to just check for centering, make sure it's covering all 4 sides. And then a couple things I can do here. If your transfer sheet is curling a bit, you can tape it down so it doesn't move. I want to say this step is optional. Sometimes if the sheet is nice and flat, then I'll just skip it and go directly to press. But I know a lot of us do love using the heat tape, so I'll show you with that step here. Boom. So I basically just taped it down in place, making sure I'm fully covered here, and let's press. Notice I didn't use a cover sheet. So because the sock is getting fully sublimated on that printable area part, on this part, I'm not worried about like exposure from my press because the transfer sheet is covering this whole area. But a lot of our customers do use a cover sheet. I never did it when I'm doing all over prints. So we just continue to do it that way, and we'll see if it comes out nice. Let's see. So 400 degrees, 35 seconds. Time is up. Let's go ahead and see that. Ooh, look at that. Get in there, show them that color.
Nice.
Nice and vibrant. Look at that, beautiful. Came out clean. And then also want to tell you guys, if some of your cotton foot gets pressed, that's totally okay. It temporarily looks like a little bit darker than the rest of it, but that's just because it just went under press. It'll become fine right after a couple minutes here. And then some of this bleed over here on the cotton foot. To minimize that, you could even put a line of heat tape on the cotton foot. But I just kind of let it be a minimal bleed over. But you could do tape that over for an even closer finish, or put like a piece of paper here and then the transfer sheet over it. So, and this will wash out with each wash since it's a cotton foot, just on this part. This part is here to stay forever. All right, next, flip, switch, and roll. So we flip the socks, we switch them, and we roll them. That means I roll the sides like this. This will help you eliminate the white line on the sides. Like that. And you might be wondering, some people ask, why do you have to switch them? Well, because like this one has a logo on this side, so whereas that one didn't. So now I switch them in case I have a connecting image or graphic or a logo on one of them. Then now when I switch them, the logo end up going on the back of this one instead. So it's always cool to flip, switch, and roll so you don't get the same exact thing on the same sock. You get it on the other opposite sock on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. And then this line technique, see that? That helps you. Now I have a colored line on that side, and then the sublimation will take over the front side. I mean, the side that hasn't hit yet. And that'll eliminate the line, as we say. All right, second transfer sheet. Make sure you don't reuse the same transfer sheet because that wouldn't work. You had to switch it up. All right, Danielle, how many holiday socks are you going to make this year? For gifts, for presents, for fun?
Oh, I actually hate to admit it. I'm going to be all over it. Everyone's going to get socks this year.
They're all going to get socks? Okay.
Kate
awesome.
already made
like
a sweater sock. That was like one of those ugly sweaters, but in sock version. So she already one up me. She was already ready.
Nice. Yeah, ugly sweater theme on socks. We've done that before. People love it. So I was going to say, notice I didn't use tape on this one. I just kind of snuck it in and pressed it. So I was trying to pull a fast one on y'all. But yeah, definitely. Holiday socks are one of the best-selling items and gifts you can give this Christmas. So keep that in mind, guys, as you're getting your sublimation on. Bam! Love that part. The reveal, that is my favorite part.
Those colors look amazing.
Yeah. So let me get it off here. And I like to give it about 15 to 20 seconds to let it cool before I, you know, pull it off. And don't want to burn my hands here, but that came out nice. I'll show you guys the line, and the final result. So now to peel, I like to peel away at the top, hold it here and do a nice smooth unload at the bottom. So again, a little peel at the top, the little details that count. Boom. And there is my final sock. You can see that here. No line on the side. Nice red bottom here. And nice and cozy foot here. Ooh, love it. Love it. No line on that side. These are fun, huh?
Absolutely. Now, I saw that you used a jig. So are the jigs reusable?
Yes, the jigs are going to be reusable. You can see that it leaves like a little ink mark on the top. So what you want to do is just load your next sock to the same ink mark here. And then you could reuse the jigs over and over again until eventually they might crack or like just get too much wear and tear on them. Then you want to get new ones. But we do have jigs that we use for sometimes like since last year, reusing them over and over again. So I think I had like the press set on a little bit higher pressure than I needed to for the socks. That's why it bent slightly more than it should have. But if you go in with like a medium pressure, then it'll come out nice and straight, and you can reuse that over and over and over and over again. So
Perfect.
cool. All right, moving on. That was the sock I wanted to make, y'all. Now I will make a boxer. So you ready for this guy? And remember, guys, we carry these in multiple different colors. So depending on your design, we recommend you choose a color that matches the bottom. So if you're working with like a purple color, you'll go with the purple foot sock. Blue color, go with the blue foot sock, etc. And if you're going with a crazy color scheme like this, it's kind of personal preference. You can use the black sock for like a universal look, black foot, white top, or you can get fun and choose a random color that's in this design like I did here, etc. So the athletic socks, and if you want to get real crazy and do an all over print, then make sure you try the streetwear or the dress socks, which I'll show you the jig real quick for. So this is the longer jig that we carry. It's called the streetwear / dress sock jig. So this sock would load all the way on that jig, and same with this one. And then you'd sub the entire thing. So that's going to be for another video, but I just wanted to give you guys the quick rundown on the different styles of socks before we jump into the draws. All right, so now jumping in there, I'm going to change my craft paper. Danielle, have you ever made any sublimation underwear before?
You know, I have not.
No? All right, well.
Something I haven't tried. I haven't tried this one yet, but you know what? I mean, you said how great the socks were for holiday. The underwear, his and her pairs for Christmas, holiday, for Valentine's Day, I can see underwear being very popular.
Absolutely. So we got 2 busy seasons, guys. If you're out there and you're hustling and you're a seller, I know you guys are out there to make some dough and make some money in your sublimation business. You're going to have the opportunity this Christmas, and then right after that, you have Valentine's Day season. Underwear, boxers, ladies' underwear, sports bras are our best seller in January. So just keep that in mind. You got a nice 3-month push here to make a lot of dough. November, December, January. Let's get it. So let me show you how this works. I'm going to bring this guy right onto my heat press. So this is an XL boxer. The nice thing is it fits right on this 16 by 24 heat press machine. So if you have a 16 by 20, guys, which I think most people do, or a smaller one, let's say a 15 by 15 or what, you may need to print it in 2 sections. But let's say you had a 16 by 20, I would probably print half of it and then connect the other half and do like a double press where you're doing the left half, right half. But because I'm using the 16 by 24, I could do it all in one press. So lucky me. Keep that in mind though, when you're purchasing your next heat press, if you want to get busy with underwear. So another thing I want to point out is you could pre-press these, but what I just did is I laid it out, checked the corners, checked the bottom. It looks nice and straight to me. Our goal was to make it nice and straight out of the packaging, which is then it actually won't need a pre-press. So I'm gonna skip the pre-press and go straight to pressing. But if it has a couple wrinkles in there that you think, dang, I got to get that out, give it like a 2 to 5 second pre-press, then straighten it out again with your fingers like I was kind of doing here, and then you should be good to go. So the socks, the transfer sheet I'm putting on this guy is a motivational design with Muhammad Ali here. It says, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. So normally I wouldn't put another dude on my draw, but Muhammad Ali, the GOAT, he's an exception. Right, Danielle?
Right.
Gotta make exceptions sometimes to the rules. All right, let's see here. No, but people have so much fun putting like their husbands or wives on their underwear. I find that so funny. Got you laughing over there, huh, Danielle?
Yeah,
yep. All right, so now I'm just checking for coverage on all 4 sides. Left, I want to make sure the corners of the boxers are covered, the bottom of the boxer is covered, the top is covered, and that it's like nicely on my heat press. And I love how flat this transfer sheet is, so I don't need anything extra. Ooh, but I forgot to change the pressure. I'm going to increase pressure a tiny bit on these boxers. So we recommend a heavy pressure. And then I'm going to change the time to 60 seconds. So I'm doing 400 degrees and 60 seconds with a high pressure instead of medium pressure on the socks with 35 seconds. So just a little minor adjustment there. Yes, sir. We have any questions coming in yet?
I was just going to see, Kate, do we have anything?
Back to the socks, what sizes?
So we currently have a size of medium and large. We don't have the kids ones just yet, but we have medium and large in most of the styles, the athletic, the no-show, and streetwear, dress wear, and knee-high. So, but as we're, adding more to our inventory, we'll definitely be adding more of the sizes as well as we, need to supply more.
Yeah, Pro World wants to see how well the Silky Socks line does, how much you guys are buying it. So go and buy your socks from Pro World's website. And then what they're going to do is say, you know what, Mr. Silky, now we need smalls. Now we need XL. Now we need the kids. And then they're going to have the full range of sizes. But right now, medium and large we listed as 6 to 8, or roughly the shoe size in men's, or 6 to 10 in women's for medium. And then large 8 to 12 in men's shoe size. And for women, I believe it's 10 to 13. So
and the sizes
cover most adults.
The sizes are very accurate too. Just, by the way, because I've tried them on. Sizing is good to go.
Woo! My guy Muhammad Ali's looking good on those underwear. Yeah, don't burn the camera. Show him the quote. Turn. I hated every minute of training, but I said, suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. Danielle, I hated every minute of this sublimation camera video, but I said, suffer now, live your rest of your life as a champion. Just kidding. I love this stuff. All right. That looks good. But okay, back to let's get a little serious here. So I love the coverage. I got full coverage all over the band, the sublimation band. Yep, the waistband takes the heat nicely. The color matches. Even here, nice full coverage. Got a tiny bit of white right there, but because this design is nice and light, you hardly even notice that. Same thing here. Like this is like barely the dead spot where the print didn't reach, but man, that is beautiful. And notice I didn't use a jig. A lot of people ask, hey, do we need jigs for the boxers? No, you don't. You just lay them down and go to work. Some of our underwear, though, like the ladies' underwear, the boy short, actually, you won't need a jig for either because it's like a smaller version of this. For thongs and bikini underwear, though, we do use like paper. We stuff craft paper in between the front and the back. What that'll do is that'll flatten up the garment and it'll eliminate printing going from the interior. But because these boxers, the front and the back are exactly the same fabric coverage, you don't need to worry about print going on the inside. So that's why I don't use a jig. Came out nice. What do you think, Danielle? Does it look good?
I think it looks amazing. And just to kind of add in there, even though these do have seams to them, I'm such a stickler for pressing pillows and perfect pads. And every time I say that there's a seam, I always tell our customers, make sure you have a pressing pillow, but you really don't need them. It will press directly across a seam with ease. I did a yoga headband this morning and it printed perfect. So don't feel the need to grab a pressing pillow, even though I know you probably want one, but you won't need one.
Yeah, so I like to tell them in my own words that you can print right over the seam. And our goal with these blanks, Danielle, was really making something that was almost as good as a cut and sew vibe, cut and sew quality, but without requiring cutting and sewing. Because I don't have a cutting and sewing department. Most sublimation printers don't have a cutting and sewing shop going on, but they want something that you could lay down and press and it just comes out like a full, beautiful coverage. And that's what this product really does for you. All right, let's get to the back. So now, I could give it a slight pre-press because I've got a little wrinkle there. So I'll show you guys how I do that. I'm just gonna do a couple seconds here. I didn't even press it all the way down. Lock it in. I just kind of gave it a light, gentle press. And now I'm getting the wrinkles out with my hands. And I've got the second sheet, same thing, same exact design. And we will go with that here.
And even if the press is smaller than you like, how does it work?
So we had a question come in. If the press is smaller than the blank, what would you do? Like you mentioned before, you're going to kind of split it in half and do half on the left and then half on the right, or print on the left and then print on the right.
Right. So you'd have to press it in sections, or you could do a smaller press where, let's say, you just keep it a white background and you put like an image. Like I've seen people do like just a text over here, or just an image right in the center. But if you wanted to do an all over print, you can section it how you think is good for you. I like to section it where I section the left half and then I connect it and do a second press on the right half. And then you have a tiny line right here where it overlaps. And you can try minimizing that by I've seen different methods where people put it on like a board, and then they'll tape their transfer sheets together, and then move it around the board when they're pressing. So there's a few different techniques you can try like that. Let me go ahead and reveal this guy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Came out nice. Came out real nice. I see one minor wrinkle right in there that I wasn't able to get out all the way, but a little hot right now. Let me sit down for a second. These hands can handle some of the heat, but not that much at that moment. But yeah, to be honest, I'm not like I haven't done too much where I connect them and press them, but I have seen a lot of content on pressing with the smaller press and pressing in sections. So I definitely believe this is a product you can do with that. And a lot of people in our Facebook group will show off their work inside of our group's called Sublimation with Silky Socks. Shout out to our community there. But yeah, they're using 15 by 15s or 16 by 20s and doing all over print T-shirts as well in sections. Sometimes like 4 presses, sometimes 6 presses on each side. So it's definitely something you can achieve with these boxers. Maybe 2 presses. If you had a 15 by 15, I'd have to measure it. It might take 4 presses, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, this one's 16 by 20. We pressed it on a 16 by 24. So yeah, even if you had a 15 by 15, you could press this part and you might leave like a tiny bit. You'd leave an inch on the bottom roughly that wouldn't get hit on your press. So you can cover like all but these little tips on the bottom with 2 presses on a 15 by 15, I'm thinking. So, but let me come back up in here and show you the backside up close. So there's the full coverage there. There's one tiny wrinkle here, but besides that, they're not worried about that because it is nice. And then I want to show you guys the side too. So look, it looks like, a nice connection. Almost looks like, oh, did they use a jig and do the roll technique? But the answer is no, I didn't, because I just laid it down on one side, pressed it, then laid it down on the other side, pressed it, and it flattens up nicely on the press, and then it appears to be like a full seam to seam print. So the other side, no nasty white line, as you can see. And I'm ready, Danielle. I'm ready with my new underwear, my new socks. I'm feeling very silky.
They look great, and you have Muhammad Ali coming and going.
Yes, sir. Cool. So this was fun. Are you guys gonna sell some Silky Socks out of your warehouse this year, or what?
Oh, I'm sure we will. If people haven't tuned in today, they sure will tune in later, I'm sure, and rewatch this. But I have high hopes for Silky Socks out of our warehouse and doing really well on the East Coast. So really thankful for you for joining us today and, explaining your business, how you got started, and showing everybody how to print them and how to print them easily. I think that's one of the big keys is you want to get products that you love and print and it shows up really nice and kind of flawless. And I think these are exactly that. You know that you'll get a perfect print every time and that they're super easy to make. So thank you so much for joining us and giving us all this insight. I think it was great today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, Silky Sharks, Pro World viewers. One reason I love to do this is because a lot of people tell me that after watching it, they realize that they now have the confidence to move forward and go and make it. Whereas before they might have been fearful or just worried it's going to come out bad. You just got to go for it. And like I said, give yourself 5 pairs. I'm going to make 5 pairs and then I'm going to be an expert. It really works. You just got to push yourself, do the first one and say, I'm going to do this again. So my challenge to you guys is go and make 5 and tell me how you feel after that.
That works for me. And I can't wait to see everybody. So make sure you tag us and share. Share it with Mr. Silky as well, because I'm sure he would love to see them. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. And wait, we don't have any questions, right, Kate? Okay. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you here in 2 weeks. Thank you again, Silky Socks and Dannesh, and we will talk soon.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.